It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny to Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenny Walker. Touchdown. Smarty. Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes. Caught. Touchdown. Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown on the receiving end. Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Friday. It's not actually Good Friday, but it is a Good Friday. It's the 12th day of April, 2024. Great to have you with us here on X's and Bros this morning here on the Michigan Sports Network. Somber tone after what took place last night in Pittsburgh against the Penguins. Tough game. Man. Not an ideal situation here for the Detroit Red Wings, and we'll have plenty to discuss on that. But welcome here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports and Network. Ben Glaze, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us. No matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you. And as always, text the keyword Sports Radio, send it to 21,000 Sports Radio to 21000. Our Myers Supercenter guest line, 866-838-4843. That's 866-838-4843. You could tweet at us at XB Mornings. You could Facebook us, X's and Bros. And, of course, you can always email us, use the snail mail, xbmornings@gmail.com. Good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN, streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. Masters yesterday, so that was a positive. Twins and Tigers delayed, so that was a negative. The Detroit Pistons, speaking of negatives, they are done at home for the year, so 2 games remaining, and they'll be done for the season. And we have now officially clinched, no matter what happens, the next 2 games. The Detroit Pistons have clinched the worst record in franchise history. So congratulations to them. Shout out to Tom Gorris, Monty Williams, Troy Weaver, and the entire Pistons team for making that happen. Without that, I don't know. It's a collective effort to be that bad at that game, collective, and they got it done, man. They got it done. So good for them. I know it was a big time accomplishment for the Detroit Pistons to be that god awful this season. Ben, Ryan, good morning to both of you guys. What's going on over there? Anything good?
Oh no, nothing good.
Nothing good?
No.
Nothing bad?
No. Stayed up for the Wings, and, well, that was bad.
That was bad. That was not good. That was not good. That was tough. That was tough.
Very chippy game.
Hard fought.
Yeah.
That's a meaningful game right there. That is a meaningful game. Another one. And we got to be just about, I know we're not mathematically dead because it did go into overtime, and obviously we'll talk more about this as we carry on throughout the course of the morning, but that one, that's tough, man. That's tough. We were talking about it last night. I was like Sidney Crosby. Oh, God. And he gets assist number 1,000 last night. Oh, my goodness. Tired of him. Also, Lucas Raymond is a star. He was drafted by the Detroit Red Wings and is coming into his own. He had a hat trick last night. I asked Ryan about this. So we're going to try to figure out a way to put this together for our young stars under the age of 24. But where do you rank Lucas Raymond at as far as the young guys still on their first contract? Everybody's under the age of 24. I mean, we got a lot of them, a lot of young guys, but where would you place Lucas Raymond? I mean, he's definitely top three. I don't know if he's one or I don't think that he's one. He might be two. They talked about that on the broadcast too after the hat trick goal. That was pretty great. But Ryan and I were talking about it, prior to, and it's like, man, this guy's really something here, really something. So I'll be interested to see what that conversation looks like, because he's one of the guys that, and maybe just because it's hockey, a lot of people haven't really talked a whole lot about. But he's pretty special. He is pretty darn special. All right, what else is going on in the sports world? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories in the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Huge news. Don't know really how to feel about this yesterday. Saw plenty of jokes and plenty of commentary, but O.J. Simpson has passed away, died of cancer at the age of 76, according to a statement issued by his family. April 10th, our father, Orenthal Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren during this time of transition. His family asked he please respect their wishes, privacy, and grace. That's what they posted on X. Tom Brady says that he is not opposed to a late season NFL return. It was an appearance on the Deep Cut podcast, because there's 80 million podcasts now. Asked about returning. I'm not opposed to it. I don't know if they're going to let me, because as an owner of an NFL team, but I'm always going to be in good shape. I'll always be able to throw the ball. So to come in for a little bit, like MJ coming back, I don't know if they would let me, but I'm not opposed to it. Oh, he just can't help himself. He loves it. The Chiefs' Rashee Rice surrenders to police after charges on the accident. So that's good. At least he did the right thing there. Turn yourself in and figure it out. What does the NFL do here? Do they dole out like a year-long suspension? Is that what they need to do to get guys to not do 100 miles an hour on the highway? The Browns and Nick Chubb have reworked their deal to keep the running back in Cleveland, so good for him. A source is telling them, Adam Schefter of ESPN, that the Browns reduced Chubb's salary cap hit from $15.85 million to $6.25 million, and that the running back can earn up to $12.2 million next season based on performance levels he was achieving prior to his season-ending knee injury last year. Before 2023, Chubb had rushed for more than 1,000 yards in 4 consecutive seasons, including a career-high 1,525 in 2022. Drew Holiday agreed to a 4-year, $135 million extension. My goodness, that's a lot of money. Sidney Crosby hits 1,000 assists, keeps the Penguins surging. They now won 5 games in a row at home. But 1,000, congratulations to him. The Pens captain became the 14th NHL player to reach 1,000 apples and the league's 10th all-time leading scorer. Man, that's a lot going on there. A lot going on there. Good for him. And Mark Pope is nearing a 5-year deal to be Kentucky's next head coach, so leaving BYU to head to Kentucky. Pope's a 96 Kentucky grad who played 2 seasons and won a national title there. He's taken BYU to the NCAA tournament in his 5 years, 2 times, including a 23-11 record with a pretty smooth transition to the Big 12 this past year. So good for Pope. You get an alum in there, that should help. It should at least give him a little bit more leeway versus an outsider, knowing that he was there at one point in his life. And yeah, I think that's a good move for Kentucky, and they can finally have themselves a coach. We'll step aside. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey.
Now, he's a managing shareholder at Dorn Mayhew's Grand Rapids office. Their world headquarters are in Troy, Michigan, on the east side of the state, and they have locations all around the world. They have over 550 motivated accounting professionals, 90 years in business, and I mentioned the 10 offices worldwide. So if you want to connect and partner with one of the top CPA, accounting, and business firms in the world, they're right here in Michigan. Dorn Mayhew's Troy office on the east side of the state, and Josh Garvey is a managing shareholder for their Dorn Mayhew GR office. Right there by the S-curve, you'll see the new Dorn Mayhew sign. You can find out more. Just Google Dorn Mayhew. That's DOERENMAYHEW or Dorn.com. They're one of America's and the world's top CPA, accounting, and business firms. They're Dorn Mayhew.
We're teeing off our 10th year at the Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Get ready for the best tour yet to help neighbors in need while enjoying golf, food, and family fun. Join us June 13th through the 16th at Blythefield Country Club for fabulous food, Discoveryland for kids, and of course, elite women golfers from around the world, competing to help feed our neighbors. Get your tickets now at MeijerLPGAClassic.com.
Van Andel Institute Purple Community is a grassroots fundraising network powered by the dedicated volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve human health now and in the future. When you raise funds through the Van Andel Institute Purple Community, 100% of the proceeds go directly to the Institute's research into diseases like cancer and Parkinson's, as well as VAI's science education programs. Learn how you can get involved at purplecommunity.org.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you ride along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you as always. And man, I'll tell you what, last night it was fan appreciation night for the Detroit Pistons inside Little Caesars Arena. And the Stones can get this over with. They can get this over with. By the way, and Ben, you'll have to remind me, but did I give a Masters update during the headlines? Did I give anybody the...
I don't think so. I can't remember.
That's just...
I don't think so.
I didn't think so either, and I was like, wait a minute, did I say anything about the Masters? Like, duh, of course you did. And then I started thinking about it more. I'm like, I don't think that you did say anything about the Masters. The Masters is on, for God's sakes. What's the matter with you, kid? So we had a little bit of a weather delay yesterday, but that's okay because, you know, you got to play through it. Weather's tough. Was it going to make the course pretty soft? But Augusta has all the tech necessary in order to survive and be able to dry their course out as quickly as possible. They have areas of their course, you know, they were talking about some different tee boxes. I was watching like a special, if you will, air quotes, on Augusta. And there's a tee box that they have that is back. I forget what hole it is, but it is back in a wooded area that there's no way anybody else could grow grass in that specific area. But they can at Augusta because of the underground system that they have in place and how they operate. And that's why Augusta is what it is. And that's why when there was a lot of rain, people are like, don't worry about it. Course is in great shape. Like, it's not only going to drain well, but they've got all the I don't know the best way to put this, the piping system to be able to dry the course out. It's just incredible. Friends. Hello, friends. Bryson DeChambeau, your leader in the clubhouse at -7. Scotty Scheffler at 6 under par. Max Homa right there at 4 under par. Good round for him. Excited for him. Patrick Reed, unfortunately, is 2 under par. Would have been great had he been none under par. Tommy Fleetwood at 2 under. Rory McIlroy at 2 under. Cam Smith at 2 under. Pardon me. Rory, Cam, Tony Finau, all 1 under par. I got a little bit ahead of myself there. Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, y'all. How about him? Birdie on the first hole. Second hole, he was up against a tree. Had to flip his club upside down and hit it left-handed. That's a player. That's the kind of plays that players make. They take a penalty stroke. Good for him. He finished 1 under par in round number 1. Incredible. Good for him. You'll love to see it. Well, through 13. So he's got to finish up round 1 and dive on into round number 2 here because of the late start and the delay. That's just what it is. So there's your Masters update. More Masters a little bit later on. Let's talk some Detroit basketball, shall we? That's always a good time.
Detroit basketball.
The Detroit Pistons, they fell yesterday. It was Little Caesars Arena. It was the home finale for the worst season in franchise history. Just get it over with. And boy, did they came ready to play last night. I mean, they played inspired basketball last night. Jalen Duren had 20 and 11, so good for him. That's a positive. Some people will probably nitpick at that, but at least he showed up and did his job. Jaden Ivey was 6 of 13 from the field. Marcus Sasser was 8 of 15 from the field. Ivey had 16, and Sasser had 20, and Malachi Flynn had 12 off the bench, and that's it. There you go. 127 to 105 was your final score. DeMar DeRozan scored 39 points. Vukovic had 27 and 11. Kobe White had 18. And that's it. There you go. 13 and 67. The best they can do this year is to win both of their games on the way out, which is not going to happen. They have a road trip to see the Dallas Mavericks tonight with an 8:30 tip-off scheduled there. And then on, what is that going to be? That's going to be Sunday. They're going to play the Victor Wembanyama's of San Antonio, and that's going to be all she wrote. that'll be done. The 1979-80 team held the previous mark for utility for the Detroit Pistons organization. They were 16-66. This team cannot win more than 15 games, and they're not winning both of those. So that's it. The worst record in France. This is the worst team in franchise history. And that's how you know that Troy Weaver doesn't need to be a general manager anymore. That's how, right there. That's your fireable offense right there. That is year over year getting worse. That's adding lottery picks and getting worse. That's how you can fire him. That's a fireable offense. Well, you didn't do X, Y. Like, I'm happy to see what the new guy wants to do, whoever it is. If they want to come in and trade everybody, I guess I have a little bit of Chris Middleton syndrome, which is I fear to give up on a guy too early that has shown signs. Asar Thompson, he'll be all right. They've shut him down for the season. Beef Stew, he'll be all right. Fontecchio is going to be all right. But between Cade, Ivy, and Duran, there seems to be a lot of chatter on who should be traded. I think they should just all play together regularly. I think that's what needs to happen, but that's just me. Maybe it can happen. Maybe the new GM will come in and trade some pieces, and then we'll get Spencer Dinwiddie / Chris Middleton 2.0. Someone will go somewhere else and have a wonderful career and just couldn't get it done here. We'll be like, oh, we should have kept him. That sounds like fun. That's exactly what I want to be doing 10 years from now, is looking back going, we should have kept him. But this team's a dumpster fire. Troy Weaver should be fired, speaking of fire, and never get another job again. Not in the basketball field. He should be done. It didn't work. It's unfortunate. You can't have this many years, especially in the NBA, where the NBA it should be your quickest turnaround. I would say the NFL would be second, and then NHL and MLB would be in a two-way tie for third. And the reason I say that is because of the immediate impact of your draft selections. There's only 2 rounds, and rosters only have 12 guys. So, 15. But it should not be that hard. You should be able to turn this thing around relatively quickly. Would have been turned around if you drafted Tyrese Halliburton and not Killian Hayes, but whatever. That's a fireable offense in itself. So I think, me personally, NBA is the quickest one to turn around. In the NFL, once again, you have first-round draft picks that are expected to be starters and second- and third-round guys that are expected to be contributors. You can get it, it takes a couple years, but you can do it. In the NBA, it could take 1 year. And it can be done. The NHL and Major League Baseball, because the way the drafts are, the rounds in the draft, and then the way that the minor league systems are set up, it just takes a little bit longer. It might take 5, 6, 7, sometimes a decade. Like that's a long time. That's a long time. But what you see is you see a GM and with one team in Little Caesars Arena that year over year has gotten better. Not only have they gotten better on paper, they've gotten better as far as the roster is considered, and wins and losses. They've gotten better year over year. But everybody wants to talk about that guy. The other guy, he just put together the worst season in franchise history. And, yeah, nobody says a word. Maybe it's a foregone conclusion. Maybe we all agree that Troy Weaver needs to be fired into the sun. Regardless, end the game. They got 6-game losing streak right now. Maybe you can end the season, I meant to say, by losing 8 in a row. That would be very, very Detroit Pistons of them, and we can just get it all over with. So, I mean, no Cade Cunningham, knee injury management. The whole thing's a joke. The audacity. I saw a billboard the other day. It said season tickets on sale now, 24-25 Pistons. You better give me courtside at that all-inclusive club and free parking for about $112 to go watch this team. That is terrible. The audacity to be out there with billboards talking about come see us play. You don't even play the guys that are on your team. Everybody's injured all the time. You bench everybody. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So we'll step aside when we return. Shohei Ohtani. Ryan has been all over this story like white on rice. Shohei Ohtani's interpreter is in a lot more trouble than what we originally thought. We'll get into this next here. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here with a reminder that on Thursday, April 25th, I'll be in Detroit for the NFL Draft. I'll be broadcasting live 3 until 6 from the world-famous Caucus Club as they prepare for the private NFL VIP party with Br0's Sports Management and certified NFL PA agent David Gregory. We'll be joined by Josh Garvey and his team from Dorn Mayhew, Matt Golden, the CEO at the Tullymore Golf Resort, will check in, and also our friends from Coppercraft Distillery. Be listening for your chance to win a VIP bracelet to get in to this private NFL Draft Night Bash at the Caucus Club in downtown Detroit, less than a half mile from the NFL Draft Stage. It's being presented by the Michigan Sports Network and David Gregory and Bull Rush Sports Management. Be listening to the Huge Show for your chance to win a VIP bracelet to the huge NFL Draft Watch Party Thursday, April 25th in Detroit.
We played for the thrill, that rush you feel with the game on the line. I'm Herman Moore, Lions All-Pro wide receiver. Now, with Eagle Casino and Sports, the new sportsbook app from Soaring Eagle, anywhere I'm at, I'm still in the game.
Sign up now and get up to $1,000. That's right, up to $1,000 for a risk-free bet on your next favorite underdog, parlay, or prop.
Eagle Casino and Sports. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan.
Must be 21 or older and in Michigan to play.
Roast Umber is a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com. Coming up later today at 3 on The Huge Show on the Michigan Sports Network, I'll deliver huge opinions on everything you're talking about.
Can't call in? Text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000 or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now, back to X's and Bros with Anthony Bellino here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports and Network. Great to have you ride along with us. I was taking a look at the Caucus Club that Huge is talking about to try to get into that VIP party. I want to know how to win. That place looks nice. That'll be a lot of fun. That's that's like the next block over from where I'll be all day Thursday and Friday. So that's pretty cool. All right, maybe I'll get to see the huge one. All right, let's get into this this story here with Shohei Ohtani, because this is way worse for Ippei Mizuhara than expected. I mean, this is like nightmarish stuff. So this is what we know. Federal authorities taking the podium, saying that Ippei stole $16 million from Shohei Ohtani to pay off gambling debts, and the way he was doing this was committing bank fraud by somehow. And look, I don't know how this is possible, but he convinced the bank that he was Shohei to weasel out some money. He had met a guy, a bookie, Matthew Boyer, is bookmaker number one, and the bookmaker number two is an associate of Boyer's. He met him at a poker game in San Diego in 2021, according to the complaint, around September 8th of 2021. Bookmaker 2 provides Mizuhara an account number, a password, and a URL for an illegal betting website. About 2 weeks later, Mizuhara messages Bookmaker 2, "I've just been messing around with soccer. There's games on 24/7. LOL, I took UCLA, but they lost outright." So that's what he is getting into, and it's not looking good when you start thinking about 24/7 betting. The same day, Mizuhara messages Bookmaker number 2, "How does the withdrawing and paying work?" Bookmaker 2 says he pays and collects as the week ends Sunday night. Whatever you're up or down, you pay or receive. Last week you were down, and he rolled it, and he's okay with it. I say have a settle figure, meaning pick a number you want to settle at either way. And this would continue on. March 10th of 2022, Mizuhara sends Boyer a message asking him to reduce his credit from $300,000 to $100,000. Quote, "I'll get too reckless with $300." In May, a text message from Mizuhara indicates he's on a bad run. Despite him owing Boyer over $1 million, Boyer continually increased Mizuhara's betting limits, according to investigators, because that's what they do. And this will go on and on and on and on and on to the tune of $180 million. Do you know how much money you have to bet to get to that number? Like, do you know how many wagers you have to have? 19,000 bets, roughly, in all, ranging from $10 to $160,000 per bet between December of 2021 and January of this year. According to the records, a reflected total winnings of $142 million and total losses of $183 million, leaving a total net balance of negative $40,678,436. What kind, like the bookie here, how do you even manage that? That's what I want to know. How do you even manage that? This is pretty nuts. Bank records also show that the phone number and email address on Ohtani's account were changed to those associated with Mizuhara in late 2021. Prosecutors said that the winnings were deposited in Mizuhara's account, not Ohtani's. Boyer's attorney declined to comment. The Dodgers, who fired Mizuhara on March 20th, also declined to comment. What would your comment be? Investigators also relied on recorded phone calls from the bank in which Mizuhara falsely identified himself as Ohtani to, quote, trick and deceive bank employees into authorizing the transfers. I don't know exactly how, as Shohei Ohtani, you don't realize this is taking place. Like most of us have mobile banking apps. I don't know if you have one or not, but you probably know roughly what's in there, what's coming out and what's going in, at least on a monthly basis. I feel like if you are Shohei Ohtani and let's say all in all, your monthly expenses are $100,000. If $4.5 million disappears, like you'd think your eyes would light up a little bit. Now, maybe there's a language barrier thing. I don't really know. I mean, I try to put myself in his shoes. Like, okay, let's say you played ball in Japan and you're trying to read a paste, like you're trying to read your bank stub, and you're looking at the ledger going, I don't even know. I don't even know what these numbers are. I don't even know where the numbers are. I don't know what they look like. Like, that's crazy. On March 20th of 2024, after the news broke that at least $4.5 million had been transmitted from Ohtani's account to Boyer's operation, Mizuhara texted the bookmaker asking whether he had seen the reports. The bookmaker replied, yes, but that's all BS. Obviously, you didn't steal from him. I understand it's a cover job. I totally get it. Mizuhara said, technically, I did steal for him. It's all over for me. Well, at least he's honest about it. But this is a wild story. Ryan, he was trying to keep me updated throughout the day. I don't even know how to keep track of all this.
See, this is why I don't get rich, so no one can steal from me. Perfect.
It's a good plan. That's a good strategy there, Ryan. It's thinking ahead, huh? A little chestnut checkers.
This is galaxy brain stuff. No, and people are like, well, how can Ohtani not notice? Ohtani is one of, put a number down, athlete of someone close to him stealing money from him. Like, this isn't a new story of someone close to a high-profile athlete taking money. Baker Mayfield said he just went through this. Like, lost a lot of money because of close people handling it, took money from him. The hockey player from Michigan, it was Jack Johnson, had his parents take all his money from him. Like, this isn't a new thing. It's a sad thing. And, yeah, and it all came to a spearhead. One of the texts in November where the bookie's like, hey, I'm outside Ohtani's house and I see him walking the dog. Should I go talk to him? Like, this was getting, like, real-life Sopranos episode. Like, that's where this was spearheading of, like, Ohtani almost got Tanya Harding for this guy to, like, pay his bets back.
Yeah, that's it's an incredible story. Like, the numbers are so large, like it's bewildering to a point, because it's like, how in the world from Ohtani's perspective, right? And I tried to say, I tried to think about it like if I was playing pro ball in Greece. I'm trying to think of somebody who doesn't use numbers that look like ours, right? How do you read your bank statement? Okay, so we could have a little bit of an issue there. Who do you go to read that bank statement for you? Like, who is there to help? Who do you trust? As you mentioned, you gave some other instances where guys in the hockey story with the parents taking the money. I don't know.
Like, how much money do you normally keep as a professional athlete with all that money? How much money actually just stays right there in your account? If you're not like getting a check in and moving it somewhere where it's like, maybe you're saying, hey, I moved it into the savings account to where it's not touched, to where it builds interest. Like, it's in a CD where it's like, hey, if longer we don't touch it, we get some interest on that account. What if that's how his money's moved just regularly? So that money comes in and Ippe's just like, yep, I moved the money, and all he did was move it to the bookie.
He said it was a CD, but it was a certificate of degeneracy.
Boom. We got there.
Took me a minute.
Certified degenerate. All right.
Certified degenerate account is CD. It pays no interest. You actually lose money every day. And the hockey story is the one that gets me, because if your own parents steal money from you, I don't know at what point you want to talk about like some long-term, like people have trauma. Like, everybody's got trauma like that right there. I don't know how you trust anybody ever again. If your own parents steal from you, I don't know exactly how you ever trust anybody with anything ever again if your parents are willing to do that to you. As for those parents, like they should have been pushed off a bridge. Like there's no.
So throw away the conspiracy that like, oh, this is a cover up. Ohtani was doing this. Like, guys, this isn't new of someone close to an athlete stealing money. Like, so
yeah, the only difference is this guy's stealing it to gamble with it, and this is kind of as far as we know, like a first. Part. Yeah.
Yeah, at least to our knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so yeah, and it's great. 19,000 bets. I think the bets ranged anywhere from $10 to $16,000, and it's like
160.
160.
160,000.
There's a lot of numbers in this piece, and they're getting floated around.
It's a ton.
So it was hard to keep track, and yeah, it hit a point too where the bookie's just like, hey, if you want your line of credit, you have to start paying money back. Like, we need to show that you're at least good for something so we can keep bumping your line of credit. And that's what happened. And then the FBI got involved. And that's where in March, right, while the Dodgers were in Korea, it all, came crashing down because the LA Times had a story ready to run. And Ife just had to come clean. And that's when the bookie was, send a text like, hey, don't worry, I know you're covering for him. And he's like, nope, I've been stealing. So it's like the admission of guilt was right there in the text messages to the bookie.
Yeah, I mean, now what kind of heat does this, like, from a bookie standpoint, like, why wouldn't you, like, what do you got going on here? Like, I'd love to know how many people, because you got to think everybody's cooked at that point, because they're going to go through all his records, and they're going to try to find everybody. I just don't know how. That is a lot of money to be handling. And if Ipe doesn't pay, then what?
Then Ohtani's we're looking at Sopranos Ohtani crossover episode.
Yeah, I mean, are you like sitting guys in the right behind the dugout? Is that what's going on here? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. And I'll be honest with you, I don't like any of it. I think it's all way, way, way too close to the sport. But we had to we got to squeeze the juice out of every possible fruit that's near us.
The weird thing is that I think throughout the investigation they come through all his bets and he didn't bet on baseball. But again, that doesn't excuse anything because I saw someone point out on Twitter, it's like, okay, could he have not given inside information to the bookies, though, as a form of, like, relief?
Yeah, did he know? And what did he know? Because it's like the Dodgers. I mean, if you bet on them money line to win every game, you're going to make
Dodgers,
money.
It's the Angels because he's Ohtani was only on the Dodgers.
Right. Okay. Good point.
All regular season game by the time this all came crashing down, and even then, like, who knows if he was even betting at that point because the story came out first game of the season. So it would just be betting on the Angels. But again, I think everyone would just bet against the Angels anyway because we all know the story. Trout homers, Ohtani homers, Angels down 8-2.
Yep.
Like,
it's the only RBI you're going to get is the one that you actually run it in after you make contact and you hit the home run. That's all that's going to take place. It's a pretty involved, pretty messy story, but it seems as if everybody worked relatively quickly to get this cleared up. Like, this does seem one of the more faster-paced moving stories.
I think we think it is, but it seems like this investigation's been going on for 5 months at least. I think, like, that November text of, like, hey, we're waiting outside Ohtani's door, seeing him walk his dog. It seems like the investigation had already started by the FBI. So I think that's why when everyone's like, well, we need comments now when the story broke a month ago, it's like, guys, this isn't just like Ohtani betting scandal. This is a gambling ring that the FBI has been working on for months. So I think just like getting all that information. Like, the information was already obtained. It was just like, we need all of it, though.
I wonder how many years the bookie's going to do.
I don't know, because Ipe's up for bank fraud for impersonating Shohei.
Mm-hmm.
He could face up to 30 years.
Yeah, that's just a series of really bad decisions. I mean, when you think about it, like if you're Ipe, you really are in the circle of trust there with Shohei Ohtani, one of the wealthiest people to ever play any sport for money in the history of the world. Like, all you got to do is stay close. You're going to eat well. You're going to go on fun trips. Like, you're going to do everything. Like, there's no – you just don't punt the ball out of bounds. And that's exactly what he did.
Perfectly. Yeah, you were already set up perfectly. But as we know, this guy was a habitual liar. Lied about where he went to college. Lied about working for the Red Sox, and there's no record. So it seems like this man was a degenerate and would do anything for the dollar to gamble it away.
Well,
luckily for Shohei Ohtani, it's like he has all his Dodgers money deferred. So, yeah, he lost $16 million. Ipe is probably really upset that a lot of his money was deferred, but that was to avoid paying California state tax while he was playing for the Dodgers.
Yeah, you are right, because when he moves, he won't have. I think that California could still try to go after him to try to recoup some tax money. Yeah, but he should be okay.
They're trying, but it's like, well, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, not really a whole lot we could do there. Speaking of gambling, let's talk about DraftKings, shall we? What a segue. What a segue. Action-packed fight card taking over Las Vegas for UFC 300. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the UFC, is giving you the chance to get in on all the action with the knockout offer for every fight fan. New customers can bet on any UFC 300 bout. Insert $5 into $150 instantly in bonus bets. That's right. From the much-anticipated title fight between Pereira and Hill to the exciting undercard bouts, DraftKings has you covered, giving new customers a shot to rack up some big-time bonus bets. Betting's easy. Simply lay down some action on UFC 300. Bet anything you want. You'll get bonus bets back instantly, no matter what. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code HUGE. Promo code HUGE. New customers can bet $5, get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Only with DraftKings Sportsbook. Only using the promo code HUGE. The crown is yours. Got a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Physically present in Michigan. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/MMA. You might be wondering, I don't know if you've watched, but that's the UFC theme song. So that's like the big one. I like the UFC. I do. I think it's interesting. Combat sports are interesting. Two guys fighting each other in a cage, and now two girls fighting each other in a cage. Like, it's pretty humane of us, right? I can get down with that. We'll step aside. Hour 2 is next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Get ready to win big every Friday in April during Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort's 43rd gaming anniversary. Every hour from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m., 2 winners will receive $500 in premium play. Then at 10 p.m., 1 lucky winner will walk away with $4,300 cash. The celebration doesn't stop there. On April 26th at 10 p.m., 1 lucky player will take home the grand prize of $43,000 cash. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Huge here with a special thank you to 3 of our partners who are helping bring the 313 NFL Draft Party on Thursday, April 25th to life in downtown Detroit. Josh Garvey and the team at Dorn Mayhew, one of the world's top accounting, CPA, and business firms. Josh is a great man, and that company is doing great things. Josh heads up the GR office. Also, Matt Golden, the CEO of the Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, Michigan. They're set to open up both courses at the end of the month, and you can book a stay and play package. Or if you want to take care of business and mix in a little pleasure on the golf course, great food, beverages, go to TullymoreGolf.com. That is TullymoreGolf.com. Book your stay and play package or schedule your next event less than an hour north of GR. And also to the team at Coppercraft Distillery. They're the home of Honolulu Blue. If you're a Lions fan, you need to be drinking Honolulu Blue. Thanks for your help with the 313 Draft Party.
We're teeing off our 10th year at the Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Get ready for the best tour yet to help neighbors in need while enjoying golf, food, and family fun. Join us June 13th through the 16th at Blythefield Country Club for fabulous food, Discoveryland for kids, and of course, elite women golfers from around the world, competing to help feed our neighbors. Get your tickets now at MeyerLPGAClassic.com.
Huge here for Van Andel Institute Purple Community. Now, they're a grassroots fundraising network powered by the volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve health now and in the future. Learn more at purplecommunity.org.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at freddythepizzaman.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit freddythepizzaman.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI thepizzaman.com. Together, we can make a difference.
Huge here. AB's doing a heck of a job, and I'm ready to drop some huge opinions about what he's talking about later today at 3 on the Michigan Sports Network.
Good morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here. X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports and Network. Ben Glaze, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us. That's right. No matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you to join the program at any time. Text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000 Sports Radio to 21000. Our Meyer Supercenter guest line, 866-838-4843, 866-838-HUGE, 866-838-4843. You can tweet at us at XB Mornings. You can Facebook us, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at MichiganSportsNetwork.com. And to find our website, xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. And you can find us all individually on Twitter. Ben Glaze is at the Ben Glaze. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. What's going on in the sports world? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
Nah, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
2 games in action because the third got postponed and moved to a straight doubleheader on Saturday, which is a good choice. I like that for the Tigers and Twins. A lot of rain there. The big accident on 696, that wasn't good. You got to slow down in the rain. A lot of the stuff is preventable if you just drive, with some responsibility there. Chicago Bulls beat the Detroit Pistons 127-105 on Fan Appreciation Night, and that will do it for the 2023-24 Pistons at home. 2 games remaining. Mavs tonight. The Fighting Wembies on Sunday, and that'll be it. We'll be all done for this year for Pistons basketball. And thank God, the Red Wings lost a heartbreaker in overtime last night. We'll talk about that coming up next. O.J. Simpson has passed away. He died of cancer. His bout with that at the age of 76, according to his family. Not really sure how I feel about that one. Internet obviously making a lot of jokes. Yeah. Tom Brady said he's not opposed to a late-season NFL return. He was speaking on the Deep Cut podcast. I'm not opposed to it. I don't know if they're going to let me because I'm an owner of an NFL team. I'm always going to be in good shape. I'll always be able to throw the ball. So to come in for a little bit like MJ coming back, I don't know if they would let me, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think this is just, if somebody needed a quarterback, it's just a hypothetical. The Chiefs' Rashee Rice surrendered to police on charges from the crash that involved half a dozen vehicles. I'm glad that he turned himself in. That's a positive. The 23-year-old's getting 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of collision involving serious bodily injury, 6 counts of collision involving injury. We'll see if they get any other charges stem from this, but I don't know what you do with the NFL and how to get these guys to slow down. The Browns and Nick Chubb have reworked his deal to keep the running back in Cleveland. I think it's a great job by Cleveland's capologist and their management as well. I also think this is great for Nick Chubb because he had a base salary of $11.8 million for the 24 season, the final year of his deal prior to restructuring. Remember, he blew his ACL in week 2 of last year against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not a great idea. So they take his cap hit from 15.85 down to about 6.25, and he can earn 12.2 based on performance levels. He's gone for 1,000 yards in 4 consecutive seasons, including a career-high 1,525 back in 2022. It's a good move for all parties. Nick Chubb just belongs in Cleveland. Drew Holiday agreed to a 4-year, $135 million extension. That seems like a ton of money there. Sidney Crosby hit 1,000 assists to keep the Penguins moving and grooving. And the Penguins captain became the 14th NHL player to reach 1,000 career assists and the league's 10th all-time leading scorer. with that little backhand flick that he had. Bloop, bloop. Over to Erik Karlsson. And the blast of minute 40 into overtime gave the Penguins a 6-5 victory. They jump over Washington in the Eastern Conference second wild card spot. More on that coming up. Mark Pope, the former BYU coach, nearing a 5-year deal to coach the Kentucky Wildcats. Now, Pope is a 1996 Kentucky grad who played 2 seasons, won a national title there. Took BYU to the NCAA tournament 2 times in his 5 years, including a 23-11 record with a smooth transition into the Big 12 this year. He's gone 110-52 at BYU. He was the head coach at Utah Valley before that, going 77-56 in 4 years, replacing Calipari, the Hall of Famer who left for Arkansas after posting a 410-123 record with the Wildcats that included a national title and 4 Final Four appearances. And, of course, because it is that time of year, the Masters. Tiger Woods has a big-time challenge in front of him. He is 1 under par right now through 13, which means he's got to play 23 holes today because of the weather delay. That's what it's looking like. That's going to be a tough task for Mr. Tiger Woods. Your leader in the clubhouse, Bryson DeChambeau, at 7 under par, followed up by Scotty Scheffler is at 6 under. Max Homa, Danny Willett, both at 4 under. That's exciting. Cam Davis is 3 under. Will Zalatoris is 2 under. Patrick Reed's right there at 2 under. Tommy Fleetwood is at 2 under. So we've got some good names at the top of this leaderboard. Rory McIlroy's at 1 under par. Sergio is even, right? And Victor Hovland, who we spoke with Wednesday night with Brody Miller of The Athletic, and asked him what the deal was with Victor Hovland, who was playing some of the best golf out of anybody and decided to change his swing. He finished up with a 1 under 71 yesterday. So 1 under puts you at least in the range that you're still within striking distance, and you could do a little bit of damage. The highest score, plus 10, Fred Couples was in at 8 over par, so that's a pretty big number. He was Jose Maria Olazabal was at 5 over. Hideki Matsuyama, our guy Justin Cruz's pick was 4 over. That's where you find Ricky Fowler, Zach Johnson, Gary Woodland. What a story there. Keegan Bradley at 3 over par. So there were some pretty high scores, but looks like right now, today's a big day for everybody right around even or 1 under par to try to move around and shuffle the deck a little bit and get in on the action. So when we're going to step aside. When we return, however, we're going to be talking about the Detroit Red Wings. But first, let me tell you all about UFC 300. If you didn't know, now you know. Now's a great time to get in with the DraftKings Sportsbook. Place a wager on anything UFC 300. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the UFC, giving you a chance to get a knockout offer here for every fight fan. New customers bet on any UFC 300 bout, get into $150 instantly in bonus bets. That's it. For the much-anticipated title fight between Pereira and Hill to the exciting undercard bouts, DraftKings is giving new customers a shot to rack up some bonus bets. Betting is easy. Simply lay down some action on any UFC 300 bet, and you'll get bonus bets back instantly, no matter what. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Use the promo code HUGE. New customers can bet $5 to get $150 instantly in bonus bets only with DraftKings Sportsbook, only using the promo code HUGE. The crown is yours. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Michigan. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions to apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/MMA. That card is this weekend. People are pretty excited about that. Taking over Las Vegas. I don't know what I'm going to do this weekend. What do I have planned this weekend? I don't know. I'm going to play golf today. That's what I'm going to do. We got a wind advisory in southeast Michigan right now taking place. We're going to see winds around 40 miles an hour, by the way. So that's also probably going to have an impact on you driving your motor vehicle. So please give yourself a little extra time if you're in the southeast portion of the state. If there's inclement weather, rain, snow, sleet, hail to the victors, whatever it might be, just slow down a little bit. Give yourself a better chance. That's all I'm saying. We'd rather have you make it there in one piece and be a little bit late than try to rush and have some bad happen. So please drive cautiously, drive defensively, all that good stuff. We'll step aside when we return. A disappointing night for the Detroit Red Wings. Are they dead in the water? We'll talk about it next here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey. Now, he's a managing shareholder at Dorn Mayhew's Grand Rapids office. Their world headquarters are in Troy, Michigan, on the east side of the state, and they have locations all around the world. They have over 550 motivated accounting professionals, 90 years in business, and I mentioned the 10 offices worldwide. So if you want to connect and partner with one of the top CPA, accounting, and business firms in the world, they're right here in Michigan. Dorn Mayhew's Troy office on the east side of the state, and Josh Garvey is a managing shareholder for their Dorn Mayhew GR office. Right there by the S-curve, you'll see the new Dorn Mayhew sign. You can find out more. Just Google Dorn Mayhew. That's DOERENMAYHEW or Dorn.com. They're one of America's and the world's top CPA, accounting, and business firms. They're Dorn Mayhew.
We're teeing off our 10th year at the Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Get ready for the best tour yet to help neighbors in need while enjoying golf, food, and family fun. Join us June 13th through the 16th at Blythefield Country Club for fabulous food, Discoveryland for kids, and of course, elite women golfers from around the world, competing to help feed our neighbors. Get your tickets now at MeyerLPGAClassic.com.
Bill Simonson here for Roast Umber Coffee. It's a farm direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And their Nitro Cold Brew coffee is a convenient and healthy option with no sugar or additives. So if you want a great coffee or energy drink to power you through your morning and your day, it's available in ground or whole bean or in cans. More information on the website and direct delivery to your door at roastumber.com.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports and Network. Great to have you ride along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide in the iHeartRadio app. It's a pleasure to be with you. Join the program anytime. Text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000 or join us on the Myers Supercenter guest line, 866-838-4843. 866-838-4843. All right, let's talk about it. The Detroit Red Wings taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins, a difficult game for Red Wings fans everywhere as they drop another meaningful contest, another one that you could not lose, and you lost it anyways. And that's a really, really tough place to be for this fan base. Really tough place to be. And it has, the Wings go down 1-0. And everybody loves Raymond. Lucas Raymond is coming into his own. He is arguably the best youngster in Detroit sports. And he was sensational. Here's number 27. The Wings are down 1-0. Ryan calls me, gives me the kiss of death yesterday. Don't give up a goal in the first 5 minutes. What'd they do? They gave up a goal in the first 5 minutes. But luckily, Lucas Raymond got him tied.
With Letang. Stays in the Penguin zone for a moment, a near steal, and it was, and a save. Rebound, they score! Raymond gets the goal, and it's 1-1, huge goal for Detroit. The 27th of the season for Lucas Raymond.
Crafty right there. And he finds himself in the right place at the right time. There is there's a shot and a rebound and some cleanup work done there by Lucas Raymond, and really, really nicely done for him. So congratulations to Lucas. And then we go down 2-1. So we'll just go, let's just do the same thing all over again. We'll go down, and then we'll have Lucas Raymond tie it up.
Comes Larkin. Raymond to Brinkett, back pass right in. He scores! What a play! Lucas Raymond has 2, and we're tied at 2 with 14 seconds to go in the first period.
After that goal is scored, they're huddling up for a little celebration, right? And it's another backhand, and it's an incredible, incredible pass from DeBrincat. And what really stood out to me is they're getting together, and everybody's hugging each other. And Lucas Raymond is waiting for DeBrincat to join the gang, and he is just hyping him up, screaming at him, "What a pass! What a pass!" It's great. It's great, and a career point number 500 for Dylan Larkin. In the mix as well. So congratulations to him. So we're tied at 2s, and Lucas Raymond joined some pretty good company. The Red Wings' first 65-point scorer in his age, 21 or younger, since Slava Kozlov did it in the 93-94 season. So Pittsburgh would take a lead 3-2. Then Pittsburgh would score again, and then Peaches would try to get this thing tight again because Jeff Petrie would pull the Wings within 1.
Scores! Petrie's made it 4-3 with 36 seconds to go in the second. Another late, huge goal for the period for the Red Wings.
It's interesting seeing net in goal too. That's kind of strange, right? Pittsburgh would then extend their lead, make it 5-3, and 5-3, third period, midway through, Dylan Larkin.
Lucas Raymond on it. All alone Larkin. He scores! It's 5-4 with 7:04 to go.
Poor Ken. Ken is, Lucas Raymond and JT Compher got the assists on it. And then one more time, right? Still 5-4. 5 minutes and 14 seconds to play when we pick things up here.
For Detroit. Here's Larkin giving chase. Larkin sends one right in. He scores! Whoa, does everybody love Raymond now? Yes, they do. It's 5-5. Lucas Raymond has done it again. It's his first hat trick since his NHL career began in October of 21.
pretty great stuff there. And congratulations to Lucas Raymond, the hat trick, 3 goals in the game. And unfortunately, in overtime, the Red Wings would get beat. And it's a a must-win, can't lose, however you wanted to phrase it, and they did just that. They did not win, and they did lose.
Thank you very much. And if we can just start with their shorthanded goal tonight, Newsy. It looked like it was a backbreaker there, but your guys showed some resilience, bounced right back in the game. What was the mood on the bench at that point, and what did they see after that?
I give our guys a ton of credit. Obviously, we had the big goal at the end of the period, huge momentum. We come out and we had a couple of looks. We earned our power play. We hit the post seconds before. Then we self-inflicted. We turned one over in the back of our net. But again, I give our guys a ton of credit. You don't come back and get a point in this league with being down with 7 minutes left. The guys fought. We had our look in overtime. We battled, gave ourselves a chance. I know it doesn't feel good right now, but there's still a path there. And I told the guys real quick there, that was a huge point. I know it doesn't feel very good right now, but the path is still there, and we kept it alive.
1 point's better than no points, right? That's the positive that we can draw out of this. The Wings, with 85 points now, are tied with the Washington Capitals. The Penguins now have 86 points, so have a 1 point lead. The Flyers have 85 points as well. The Capitals lost on the road to Buffalo 4-2, so that was impressive. The Flyers beat the Rangers 4-1. There was no way I thought that was going to take place. I didn't think the Flyers were beating the Rangers, and I definitely thought the Caps were going to be able to beat Buffalo, but that did not happen. So you got Pittsburgh in wild card spot number 2 with 86 points. 3 teams chasing: Capitals, Wings, and Flyers. Capitals and Wings each have a game in hand to Philadelphia. That's a really tough way to go about it. You got a really good race here for this second wild card spot. I mean, having 4 teams alive, that really bodes well for the NHL coming down the home stretch here. You've got 2 teams alive, St. Louis and the Vegas Golden Knights, fighting for wild card spot number 2, and Vegas has a 3-point lead over in the Western Conference. But look, it's going to sound mean. I don't want it to sound mean. Because he's been really good for us this year, really good for us. But there's a reason I keep talking about it. There is a reason that I continue, like I pointed out, I tweeted out the stats the other day, month by month, where we were at. Like, we don't have a number 1 goaltender. We don't. Whether we thought it was going to be Ville Husso or whomever we're playing in the number 1, like we've got a couple of 2s and a 3. Reimer, Husso, and Lyon would probably be very good goaltenders on some different clubs, or maybe a very good goaltender here in Detroit as number 2 and 3, getting some spot work. Like, that's what we were expected. That's the one area that we're missing. You can't make 21 saves on 27 shots. You can't have a save percentage that's below 80 and expect to win games in the NHL. Like, eventually, I said this last night too, to my partner in crime. I said, look, at some point, you're going to have to come up with a SportsCenter top 10 save. Like, you're going to need an SC top 10 type of performance here. And we haven't seen that. It's unfortunate for Nedeljkovic. I mean, he wasn't really all that much better, but your offense scores 5 goals. You got to win that game, and you have to. Like, you're going to have to come up with a massive save. 27 shots isn't that crazy. Like, that 27 shots is a game where you can look at it and be like, okay, that's a 3-1 winner, great. And it's when he's good, he's good. There's no doubt about it. We saw that for a month and change, if you will, but that just hasn't been the case. Let's talk to the coach, Kyle Barlow. He joins us next year, X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here with a reminder that on Thursday, April 25th, I'll be in Detroit for the NFL Draft. I'll be broadcasting live 3 until 6 from the world-famous Caucus Club as they prepare for the private NFL VIP party with Br0's Sports Management and certified NFL PA agent David Gregory. We'll be joined by Josh Garvey and his team from Dorn Mayhew, Matt Golden, the CEO at the Tullymore Golf Resort, will check in, and also our friends from Coppercraft Distillery. Be listening for your chance to win a VIP bracelet to get in to this private NFL Draft Night Bash at the Caucus Club in downtown Detroit, less than a half mile from the NFL Draft Stage. It's being presented by the Michigan Sports Network and David Gregory and Bull Rush Sports Management. Be listening to the huge show for your chance to win a VIP bracelet to the huge NFL Draft Watch Party Thursday, April 25th in Detroit.
There's a new player in town. Hi, I'm Herman Moore, Lions All-Pro wide receiver, and I'm talking about Eagle Casino and Sports, the real money mobile casino. It's so easy to play. You can go from wager to winner to wallet, just like that.
Sign up now and we'll match your deposit up to $1,500. Or you can get a risk-free bet up to $1,000.
Eagle Casino and Sports. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan.
Must be 21 or older and in Michigan to play.
Van Andel Institute Purple Community is a grassroots fundraising network powered by the dedicated volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve human health now and in the future. When you raise funds through the Van Andel Institute Purple Community, 100% of the proceeds go directly to the Institute's research into diseases like cancer and Parkinson's, as well as VAI's science education programs. Learn how you can get involved at purplecommunity.org.
This is X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Fun fact for you, 108 different players have scored a goal on an assist from Sidney Crosby. That's a pretty, I don't know where that stands as far as, the rest of the league, but that's a pretty strange number there. Welcome back here. Ben Glaze, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Join us now. Did his GA years under John Beeline at the University of Michigan. Went to Concordia, was an alumni of the prestigious Concordia, and now patrols the sidelines for the Ohio Bobcats. His name, Kyle Barlow, the coach. Find him on Twitter at Kyle Barlow4. Coach Barlow, my friend, good morning to you. Happy Masters Friday.
Oh man, happy Masters Friday, man. I'm pumped. I love it. I love the smooth transition from college basketball, cutting down the nets, the Final Four, national championship game Monday, right into the par 3 contest, the practice rounds, and then you get yesterday, a little slight delay to start, but what a great day. Very reminiscent of a Thursday, Friday of March Madness, right? You got all the golfers on the course. You're following your favorites. And I kind of had a theme as I was thinking about watching Bryson DeChambeau, and then hearing you run down the headlines. I kind of had a theme for you this morning, Bellino. It's going to be humility, and we can touch on a lot of things with this. So the first one, let's talk about Bryson a little bit, man. Like, no longer are you out here slinging your big 8-iron around saying this is a par 65 for you, right? No longer are you doing that. Now you're actually playing the course. And if you think about it, and if you hear everybody talk about the Masters and Augusta and how it's different than every other golf course, it's you have to know the course, you have to have experience, you have to know your misses, you have to put it in certain areas, you can't be above the hole, because it's too fast on your comeback putt, all these things. So how about a little humility maybe from Bryson to shoot 8 under? What do you think about that?
I think it's important. I think that, Bryson has definitely taken a little bit of a different approach, and, unfortunately we don't get to see very much of him anymore because he jumped ship and went to that other tour where they're just throwing a bunch of money at it and trying to make this work, and it doesn't have the history or the tradition to do so. So that's why I don't think that, I think the Live Tour is a pretty good example. I think you could use the Saudi Soccer League too. Ronaldo plays there, nobody hears anything from him. Why? Because we don't care. It just doesn't have the same tradition as what the Western world has from a sport perspective. So it was good to see. I'm not a big Bryson guy, but I think you're right there on the humility track of, maybe you need to tone it down a little bit. Maybe you need to just play golf instead of trying to be like this lab rat, just trying to, bulk up and get, 280 pounds of pure muscle or whatever he was trying to do and, swinging 18,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, just play golf. Don't play Hulk. Analytics, Moneyball of whatever. Just play golf, man. And he's a very talented golfer, and he had the flat stick working, man. And to quote Tin Cup, you and me both really don't love DeChambeau, but the Antichrist had a hot putter today, right? And so we'll go along with humility. We'll stay at Augusta. And you mentioned Tiger having to play 25 holes today, something of that nature.
23, I think. He got 5? I think he's got 5 holes remaining to finish up his round.
Okay, so 23 holes today. And let's be honest, man, I watched a lot of him because the cameras were on him, which they should be, and on the main broadcast. And his swing is closer to what we saw with Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, teeing off as a ceremonial. It's closer to that as it was in prime Tiger 2000. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it's a very, very fluid. He's taking a 3-wood off of number 1. He's playing this golf course. He said he knows he can't outdrive Bryson, Rory, all those guys. He knows he doesn't have that, but he knows this course probably better than most, probably better than any other guy. 23 straight cuts made, trying to set that record, right? So how about the humility to go out there and not try and be the longest hitter, but say, look, I can play this course. I know this course. I can hit a lefty shot out of the pine straw, right? So I really, really enjoyed it, man. But the ultimate test for him, right? Like not only is he walking at a very slow pace, trying not to, disturb anything in his, what you can name his plantar fasciitis, his knee, his fused back, all that stuff, right? But really, really going to be fun to watch him. But I got another one for you. Let's talk a little hockey. Let's talk a little puck. You're talking a little Red Wings, right?
Yeah.
something, maybe a little humility from when they were the season and then went on the six-game losing streak. But I don't know, man. In an 82-game schedule, in college basketball, especially at the mid-major where you got to be playing well at the right time at the end of the season, and baseball is like this as well. You have to have an elite chemistry, right? You have to have guys willing to play for each other, sacrifice for each other. I'm not there in the locker room, but sometimes, like, just watching them down the stretch, sometimes you question that. Like, I'm not saying they didn't play hard last night. They played hard last night. They played somewhat together, I guess, because, you referenced a point to bring Raymond and say, what a pass. But does that seem a little forced? I mean, we had the little scuffle in practice. We had the absolute eggs they were laying in that six-game losing streak, including Phoenix, where they needed to win. And then even against a team that lost 6 in a row last week or earlier this week, the Caps, right? They really needed that game. So maybe there's a little humility there. But do you think they're not peaking at the right time, but do you think this is a chemistry thing, a player thing at all?
I don't know, because they brought in a lot of different guys, right, over the last offseason. And, Yzerman trying to, sign and acquire, and you bring in Patrick Kane, you bring in Alex DeBrincat. Patrick Kane has been kind of mum on whether or not he wants to re-sign in Detroit. I don't know if that's great to hear. I don't know what it is. I know that we do not have a number one goaltender. That shorthanded goal that we give up, like, you got to make a stop there. You have to.
You're 1v1. Yeah, they took away the cross pass. You're 1v1. The goalie takes the shooter. The defense
got a good angle,
pass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just under his right armpit, right? Like, frustrating. Very frustrating.
It is. It's really frustrating because he played so well. And I think that in those glimpses of him playing well, I think that that's what he could do as a number two that isn't going to be asked to play, 70 games a season. It's kind of like quarterbacks. You got 2 quarterbacks, you have none. I think when you have, 3 goaltenders, you have none, right? And if Billy Husso was available, what does that look like? But he hasn't been because he's been injured. So I don't really know. I don't know. I feel like a majority of the gang seems to get along out there on the ice. The scuffle in practice, if guys are chirping at each other, I don't really have much of an issue with that, just because it takes place all the time. But it all depends on how they handle it, right? I mean, you can get after somebody, but if they don't handle it well and they let that linger on and it becomes a point of contention within the locker room, then you got to make a decision who you want to keep and who you want to get rid of.
No doubt. And I don't mean to point to that as like a reason why. It just, there's all these factors, right? Not playing well at the end of the year. Because you said it, like, that stuff happens in sports, man. And as long as you're afterwards, you get heated, you're in practice, whatever, you call somebody out or, somebody takes a little shot at you and, maybe you've lost a couple games so tensions are high. Like, that happens. I think that's normal, if not healthy, as long as you're saying, all right, man, let's go grab a beer afterwards, right? You know what I mean? Like, there's all that. And then my little sister who played goalie at Michigan State is cringing at that shorthanded goal. It's like, you got to make that save, right? You have to. So, move it along a little bit. Michigan hockey, playing, the juggernaut of Boston College, right? A little 4-0, little humility there, right? A little slice of humble pie with that one. And, and I don't even think anybody was even talking about it. I mean, the Wings were on what a huge game last night, but was Michigan not expected to even compete in that game? Because everything I've heard is Boston College is a juggernaut.
Yeah, no, we did not, and I think you saw the remnants of it. I watched a little bit of that through the first period. Then I forgot to mention it this morning, so I'm glad you brought it up, so at least I can bring it up in hour number 3's headlines. But they fall 4-0 to Boston College, and that first goal that BC scored, I mean, it was like tic-tac, pling, 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 and then, anytime you got a goaltender, if your sister played goaltender at Michigan State, that's a bad position you want to be in when you're at the top of the crease and you're just yard sailing it and someone's got a wide open net. That's never a good spot. That's one of those, this isn't going to end well. But good for Michigan to make the Frozen Four. There were a lot of people, you remember back to when Michigan last won the national championship in football, beating Washington State in the Rose Bowl. That was great, and they went on to win the national championship in hockey that same year. So a lot of people thought that maybe that was like a team of destiny. Destiny came up a little bit short.
Yep. Fun fact, my dad and I actually, in 96, we were at the Michigan versus Colorado College national championship game down in Cincinnati. A little overtime winner for the Wolverines. Great experience.
Wow, the fact that you remember that's pretty that's pretty impressive right there. We didn't get a chance to recap the national championship game. So speaking of humble pie and maybe a little humility, I don't think that it necessarily applies to Purdue, but UConn with a 75-60 winner there in that ball game. I mean, just destroying people. Danny Hurley, and the one thing I didn't understand about this Kentucky opening. Like, why does everybody think that people want to leave where they're at, especially if like, the Kentucky's got to go after Danny Hurley? Why would you leave there? Well, you don't have the football money for the SEC. So what? You don't need it. You haven't had it. You got 1 back-to-back titles. Like, what are you talking about?
I'm glad you mentioned it because that was going to be. I got two more that I had in mind going across the whole spectrum of sports.
Oh, okay.
Kentucky, little humility, huh? You're not that great. Not everybody just wants to drop everything they're doing and run and be your head coach. You know why? Because your fans are complete psychopaths. Complete psychopaths. And if you look at the totality of what John Calipari did at Kentucky, I get it the last couple of years. Losing to – he had a D2 kid hit 10 threes against him. Like, that's the tournament. Is that John Calipari being a bad coach? Or is that the NCAA tournament? You've seen Matt Painter lose in the first round as a 1 seed and then go to the national championship game the next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Kentucky just, I'm with you. Like, I think it is a desirable destination because of the resources they put into basketball. I think them and Kansas probably top 1 and 2 in spending in college basketball in totality. So I do think you have a lot of resources. The expectations are great, as they should be with all the resources you're given. But also, let's be honest, man. You lose a couple games, and those fans are just absolutely nut jobs. And if you don't believe me, read some of the message board geniuses, who's a Twitter account. Read some of the message boards at Kentucky when they lose, and how they talk about the coach. And from all accounts, Calipari was just miserable there. Like, I heard he tried to get the Ohio State job. I heard he was, like, pursuing that until they hired Jay Diebler. Like, just miserable there, man. And it's a miserable place to be. And you look at his season, they had, like, a top 10 offense in the country. They were really, really good. I forget how many wins, but, obviously good enough to be a top seed in the tournament, right? So it's really, it's really a place of humble pie for Kentucky and their fans. Like, you're not that great, man. You're not that great.
Yeah, and that's
game. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, like, with the world of social media, right? I mean, I don't know what really makes Kentucky that attractive. You know what I'm saying? Like, you mentioned it. Every time you lose, you can never. Nothing's ever good enough for anybody. For anybody, Nothing is ever good enough. It is the most like how do these people live their day-to-day lives? Like, they just got to be miserable.
Well, with no pro sports, like, I think that's a factor, right? There's not a single pro sport in the state of Kentucky. So what do you have there? You have Kentucky basketball, you have Louisville basketball, which both are basketball schools. Obviously, they both have football teams, but they're basketball schools. They have the proud history tradition of basketball. And then you have horse racing. And then you have the Kentucky Derby. And that's all Kentucky has, let's be honest. And then you got great bourbon. You got phenomenal bourbon being made down there. So
a bunch of drunks.
Talk about, well, hey, maybe that's a factor, right? So when you talk about your passion, it's all focused at one to two teams, and that's Kentucky and Louisville basketball. So yeah, but championship game, I think you saw two great offenses like we've talked about. At the end of the day, Connecticut's just too good. They can beat you in too many different ways. Like, I don't think we've seen in our lifetime a 2-year run, not a 1-year run, a 2-year run where a team just demolishes everybody in the NCAA tournament. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And to do it with, like, a reload, like when Florida did it, they returned all their players, right? When Duke did it, they returned all their players. It's a different era. UConn had to reload, and they did, and they're just phenomenal, man. And if you look at it, like, I remember, what was it, 96 Kentucky, going again back to when I was 8 years old. But I remember that team with Rick Pitino where he famously said, my second unit would have won the national championship this year. I remember that team steamrolled everybody. But I don't remember a 2-year run like we've seen with UConn in my memory.
No, I mean, it's historical, and for people that were like, I can't believe Danny Hurley Like, why wouldn't you? Like, I would never leave Connecticut for Kentucky. Like, that sounds just, everything about that sounds awful. Now, they went and hired Mark Pope coming out of BYU, and people are mad about that because,
final?
Well, 5-year deal. I don't know if it's actually like final, but it's in the 11th hour. But he's a Kentucky alum. You're looking at a 5-year deal. Like, maybe this is exactly what Kentucky needs. Like, maybe it's exactly, because everybody else kind of looking at that job like, Pope's a guy who, look, won a national championship there, played a couple of years there, understands it, right? Maybe they could rally behind one of their own and like an alum and maybe be done with sort of this, NBA draft factory and get back to, college basketball winning the way that you can win.
No doubt. So best of luck to him and his family. And, yeah, I hope they, experience I hope they don't experience the wrath of Kentucky fans. I'll just say that. But, really rooting for them. But let's I know we're running up against it. The least humble person in maybe the history of the world, passed away yesterday. You didn't touch much on it, and I don't blame you. It's not really a subject. You don't want to dance on anybody's grave ever. But, world's better off without him. You know who I'm referring to. About to go get some orange juice.
Yeah, it's just one of those, like, he died, I guess, and I just kind of left it at that. Like, I remember watching the Bronco on TV. Most people do. I think that most people assume that he was guilty and that he got away with murder. Wouldn't be the first NFL, might be the first NFL player to do it. Wouldn't be the last. Hey, Lewis. But, I got nothing for him. Like, I don't remember him as a player, so there's nothing I can really add to the conversation. I only knew of O.J. Simpson as the guy that got away with murder.
No doubt. And then the Norm Macdonald jokes, obviously, and run into Twitter for the jokes. There's a lot of that going on, which I think you mentioned as well. And it is
kind of weird, right?
That's what it is.
Like, a guy dies, and then everybody's just like posting these old videos, like these stand-ups and these comedy sketches, and like the old, I forget what news reporter it was, where she opened up the door and he was there with the knife and like acting like he did. I'm like, that's it. Just the whole thing is weird. You know what I mean? I was just like, OJ's dead. There you go.
Even ESPN, like, as I was watching the Masters, I flashed over and, they had like his picture of him and the date, 1947 to 2024, whatever it is. And I'm just like, like, I don't know about that. Just very, very weird. Because usually, you were the rest in peace, great player, did this, blah, 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 blah. And everybody's just kind of like, the juice. All right, moving on. Masters Day, right? What's Tiger doing?
Yeah, exactly. Last one here for you. The Pistons closed down their 2023-24 home stretch with a loss last night. They got 2 more games tonight against Dallas. It's Sunday against Wemby's World, the worst Pistons team in franchise history.
Yeah. Talk about humility, right? I mean, you're the worst in the franchise history. Monty Williams, like, I don't know, man. Hopefully he gets some rest and recovery, and he comes back like he actually wants to coach instead of a guy who just took a paycheck and people begging him. I mean, is that fair to say? Is that unfair for me to say that?
No, that is absolutely fair to say. He is the coach, Kyle Barlow. We're back with Hour 3 next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. The food district is now open. There's something for everyone, from Bubba Coos Burritos to Bonanno's New York Pizza Kitchen to Guy Fieri's Chicken and Ike's Lovin' Sandwiches. Savor every delicious flavor at the all-new Food District. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Huge here with a special thank you to 3 of our partners who are helping bring the 313 NFL Draft Party on Thursday, April 25th to life in downtown Detroit. Josh Garvey and the team at Dorn Mayhew, one of the world's top accounting, CPA, and business firms. Josh is a great man, and that company is doing great things. Josh heads up the GR office. Also, Matt Golden, the CEO of the Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, Michigan. They're set to open up both courses at the end of the month, and you can book a stay and play package. Or if you want to take care of business and mix in a little pleasure on the golf course, great food, beverages, go to tullymoregolf.com. That is TullyMooreGolf.com. Book your stay and play package or schedule your next event less than an hour north of GR. And also to the team at Coppercraft Distillery. They're the home of Honolulu Blue. If you're a Lions fan, you need to be drinking Honolulu Blue. Thanks for your help with the 313 Draft Party.
We're teeing off our 10th year at the Meyer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Get ready for the best tour yet to help neighbors in need while enjoying golf, food, and family fun. Join us June 13th through the 16th at Blythefield Country Club for fabulous food, Discoveryland for kids, and of course, elite women golfers from around the world, competing to help feed our neighbors. Get your tickets now at MeyerLPGAClassic.com.
Roast Umber is a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at FreddieThePizzaMan.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit FreddieThePizzaMan.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI, Together, we can make a difference.
Huge here. AB's doing a heck of a job, and I'm ready to drop some huge opinions about what he's talking about later today at 3 on the Michigan Sports Network.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Defended in the corner. To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Dennis Walker. Touchdown. Smarty. Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes. Caught. Touchdown. Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown on the receiving end. Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here. Hour number 3, X's and Bros, coming at you live all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. So great to be right along with you, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening on this 12th day of April. It's a Feel Good Friday. What are you feeling good about? That's what we want to know. We have assumed coverage, or resumed coverage, not assumed. We have resumed coverage here of the 2024 Masters tournament. Some interesting apparel choices from Jason Day. He's walking around looking like a billboard right now for whatever this new apparel, Malbon or whatever the hell this is. I don't know. Freddie is on the phone line. Wants to talk a little Detroit Red Wings. Good morning, Freddie. How are you?
How about Sergio Garcia yesterday? All green and yellow.
Interesting mix. I enjoyed Tiger's shirt. Jason Day with this sweater that's got stuff, Malbon Golf, whatever this is. I have no idea what the hell is going on out there. But always some interesting outfits out there on the Masters.
Yeah, Sergio with the Masters logo. I mean, that was kind of wild. But Tiger yesterday with the long sleeve, I think the polo and the sweater. I'm like, yeah, it's funny, we're big. I mean, I'm a big Tiger fan too, like as you are. It just, he's getting a little pudgy. Not much, but a little pudgy. Not the Tiger I remember. The workout freak and skinny and.
Wait, so you mean the 48-year-old Tiger's put on some probably unnecessary LBs in comparison to 20 years ago?
Yeah, a little bit. He's been eating those cheese balls. I think he's been eating 1 or 2 of those cheese balls a week. But he's still got the biceps. But so sorry.
I get it. I understand the metabolism. I never had one to begin with, and it's even slower now. So, I mean, it's Tiger's out there. White pants today, by the way. White pants. He's on 14th. It's a par 4. He's got himself a long putt, right to left bender. Wood's going to come up just shy. He'll have about half a foot to tap that in to clean up there. And he's got white pants. He does have the sweater on today. It's cold. We're expecting a breeze today.
I was hoping to catch the end of his round yesterday, but I had to pick up my daughter for volleyball all the way to Northville. I didn't get home till like 8 o'clock.
He looks good, man. I don't know what you're talking about. He looks good, but he did just make bogey, so he drops to even par with four remaining.
No, he still looks good. I would say 5 pounds. I think it's more like in the face. That's what I guess what I'm getting at. It's like more in the face. But who am I to talk? I'm a fat, so I don't really care. So, anyway, so I want to start off with a little positivity. Now,
okay.
A little positivity is thank goodness all this rain is coming now because we don't want it during the draft. Correct?
Oh, I'm with you. We got high winds today too. Get it out of here before the end of the month.
Get it out of here. Get it out of here. Blow it towards New York and Chicago and all those crap states and cities and Chicago. I love Chicago. Blow it all that way. Blow it out. You know what? So New York cares about the Giants, the Jets. Who cares? You stink. Now, let's get all that out of the way, and we're looking forward to a fun draft week and blah 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 blah. So the Pistons.
Oh, they stink.
Yeah, I know. I heard you this morning propping up Jalen Duren. I heard 14 or 20 and 11. I was like, oh Lord, it's 20 and 11, yeah, versus the Chicago. Anyways, don't get me off track. Now, little positivity about the Red Wings. Now that they're kind of in the picture, I've been really glued on them the last month and a half, and shout out to Jeff Petrie. I think this kid's been catching a lot of heat, a lot of strays from a lot of people, social media especially. It's true. I'm not lying, right? He has been catching a lot of strays.
He had a great goal last night. Was that
a huge goal yesterday?
Third of the season?
Well, he's a defenseman, and number one, the Red Wings had some huge goals yesterday. How about the goals before each period, first and second period, with like 10 seconds to go? Those are huge momentum goals. 10 seconds before the period ends. Otherwise, that game was going to be a blowout yesterday. It really is. Sidney Crosby, and the people that dog Sidney Crosby just crack me up. The guy's a star. Just cherish stars. Just because you don't play for your team, quit crying, So, but anyways, I know you keep going back after the goalie all the time. That's you always, it's the goalie. But I think it's a team thing. In fairness, the 2-1 game they lost to Washington, he played well. He didn't lose in that game. They couldn't score a goal, right? So technically it was really 2-0. They couldn't score him a goal. So I think, when they had their long winning streak, he was playing well. He deserved a lot of credit.
Mm-hmm.
They're not playing well. Sure, he deserves some heat, but I think it's just a team thing. I know you keep talking about Raymond, and the kid's really good. He's special. He really is good. But what I see with the Wings is Seider and Raymond are just not number one guys yet. Now, I'm not saying they won't be number one guys. I think they're forced to be number one guys right now. And I think next year, if you don't got those stars coming up, and I know in hockey it's hard to get those stars, you're gonna have to go get a couple guys and put them in that number one position and take some pressure off these guys, and let them grow into those number one spots. Because I think a lot of these games that they're not scoring goals, it's a lot of pressure on these young kids, and that's kind of what I see with the Red Wings. And the coach, whatever happens with that, it's whatever. I don't really care, but that's kind of the way I see the Wings. Is I just think some of these young kids are put into number one positions and they're just not ready yet, Anthony. And that's kind of how I see it. I don't know what you think, but it's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, my question is, so like if we took guys off of our teams and put them on other teams, where would they fall? Right? Like, so if you took Dylan Larkin and threw him on the Florida Panthers, or you put him on the New York Rangers, we had this. I had this conversation with a buddy of mine who's a big Boston Bruins fan. He's like, I think Dylan Larkin would be a number one on our team. And that could be true, maybe for Boston. But where do you put a guy like Lucas Raymond, like Mo Seider? Like, where do they fit into championship contenders? And like, look, the Edmonton Oilers, they had to suffer for a lot of years, and they ended up with a lot of top 5 picks in order to get to the position that they are in. Like, we have this kid, Axel Sandin Palinka, I think that's his name, that is in Sweden right now, who is allegedly just dominating the Swedish men's league. Like, next year, I would like to have him here. Like, I would like to have some of these young guys that are in the system. Like, let's go. Like, I'd rather win and lose with them than win and lose with some of the guys that we have that we know that are kind of at the end of the road. Interested to see what Patrick Kane wants to do at the end of this year, if he wants to come back to Detroit, and how that kind of plays out. But this has just been the worst possible time to go cold going into the playoffs, and it's unfortunate. It's a tough watch yesterday.
Well, in fairness, you said that your partner in crime yesterday, you brought up the goalie thing, but he's brought it up a couple times. I tuned in for about 20 minutes yesterday. He said, "Hey, listen, man, you got to be playing your best hockey. You got to be playing your best at the end of the year. that momentum has to carry into the playoffs. He's right. He's a guy that's played. He knows that at the end of the year, what you do in the middle, you have to be playing well at the end, and they're just not. I really believe in my heart that Sider and Raymond, they're just forced to be number ones right now. They're not, and they're really good, man. They're really good. This team needs a little bit more. He might have to go out. Stevie might have to go out and get it. Because, you watch the Wings. Stevie, when he was playing, he was the guy, man. He was the man, and everything underneath him was those guys around him were role players, and that's kind of how the Wings are right now.
We got to step aside. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this.
In the Den with Dan Dickerson.
DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and use code HUGE for a special offer when you sign up. That's code HUGE, only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
The Tigers bullpen this year gives manager A.J. Hinch the kind of flexibility he's always wanted. Everyone in the bullpen can work multiple innings. He has lefties who can get out righties. He trusts 7 of the 8 to protect a lead late. Hinch says the fact that all 8 relievers can work multiple innings is huge for him because it means he won't hesitate to bring guys in during an inning with men on base, knowing they can get that final out, handle the emotion of the moment, go in, sit down, and go back out and still be effective. Not all relievers can. Hinch says a bullpen full of guys like that allows him to bring in a reliever the inning before he was planning to use him if he needs to. He's got a lot of options now for how he uses his pen, and that many more paths to a win.
Huge here for Van Andel Institute Purple Community. Now, they're a grassroots fundraising network powered by the volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve health now and in the future. Learn more at purplecommunity.org.
You're listening to Michigan's statewide morning show, X's and Bros, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Tiger Woods striping a drive. Just right down the middle. Actually, outdrove Max Homa. That's got to feel good. But they're working on completing their first round. We got underway at about 7:50 this morning to get the final 5 holes for Tiger Woods and company. Get those holes taken care of, and then they'll jump immediately into their next 18. So a 23-hole day. Not terrible. So with play resuming at 7:50 this morning, 50 to 20 mile an hour winds are expected throughout the course of the day. Very windy across the United States, especially here in the eastern seaboard. And most importantly, the low 50 players and ties advance into the weekend. So it is cut down day. Can Tiger Woods make the cut at Augusta to continue his streak? Man, that'd be great. I'm locked into it. You know, you want to. You know, there's certain players. Tiger Woods obviously he's one of one, right? What he has meant to the game of golf, what he has meant to all people who aren't your typical golfers, and how he expanded the game to so many. He is I love Tiger Woods. He doesn't know that, but if he listens to the show, then he will know. I love Tiger Woods. The way that he played, he was aggressive. He hit the ball hard. He wasn't afraid to swear at himself. And obviously, you know, becoming a father and then everything that took place and yada, yada, yada. I've always backed Tiger Woods. Didn't matter what he did. I was always and always will be a Tiger fan. And hope that he plays in every Masters and he's out there like Freddie Couples, you know, in a few years. But he's still hitting the hell out of the ball. He's at even par right now. That's tough. Took a tough bogey there. We didn't want to see. We wanted a bogey-free round from Mr. Woods, and that's going to be tough to do there at Augusta National. But regardless, we get him to the weekend, and maybe we get some movement from somebody else. Maybe Bryson DeChambeau's wheels fall off. You know, who knows what can happen. Let's just get him to the weekend. But I will always be a fan of Tiger Woods, and just hope that he continues on and can play forever. Because I think that, you know, like watching Tiger at the Masters, like this is, it's not always going to be there, right? A lot of people have said the same thing about LeBron. I think that we have maybe some fatigue with LeBron James, and that's okay. Like, I get it. I understand. But you don't get to see Tiger as much because golf isn't covered. You know, as much as, let's say, for instance, the NBA. We get fatigue in a lot of different sports. I'm sure some people are pretty tired of Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. I know I am. It doesn't mean that I don't respect his game or don't respect what he's been able to do, but I'm just kind of tired of the Chiefs. Like, it's like I already ran through 2 decades of New England Patriots dominance, and had it not been for Tom Brady, I would have hated every minute of it. But it was Tom Brady, and he's a Michigan guy, and he's the best quarterback to ever live, so that's always fun to remind people about. You know, when I have the opportunity to do so, which could be every day. But, you know, for Tiger, you know, 2 birdies on the front. He birdied 1, he birdied 8, he bogeyed the par 3 4th hole. And then on the back 9, he's got 4 pars, made bogey at 14. Maybe he can get that back here on the par 5 15th. And then they'll, you know, amen corner. Here we go, right? This is and you can watch it all. The one thing that really bothered me yesterday is, why did coverage, I know the Masters app, we know. The Masters app is a great app. They do a great job. The Masters app and the March Madness apps are 2 apps that were built for viewers of their sport. Like, if the NFL could ever come up with something as good as that. Like, if I buy NFL Plus Premium whatever, I should be able to, at any time, be able to watch any game I want. Now, the good news is I can watch Red Zone. But the NFL's website, which they've been, you know, rolling back. I mean, the NFL Network went through a bunch of cuts because they're trying to figure out their payroll situation and sell off some of their media entities to ESPN, which, you know, I don't really like that because, you know, ESPN now has ESPN Bet. I don't like any of that. I think the flame is way too close to the fire there. But that's another conversation for another day where people are like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Like, no, I'm really not. I'm looking at, I'm trying to see the entire picture, not just what's being told to us right now. I'm trying to look a little bit above and beyond just what's in front of us here. And so, but you look at the Masters app, like, it's great, but there is no way, under no way, shape, or form, should this tournament not be on all day. From the opening tee shot, like, it should be on television all day long. And I get if they want to pump the Masters app, we could still use it, folks. We can still use the Masters app when you're traveling or wherever you might be that, you want to pull it up on your computer or on your phone at work or whatever the case may be. We could still do that. That's fine. But from the opening tee shot, this should be on. And you put it on ESPN too. Throw it on regular ESPN. Do you think that we want to watch Stephen A? Like, do we need another episode of Get Up? Like, you give all those guys the day off. Give them all the day off. And just take the Masters. It's already out there. So that was my biggest gripe yesterday, is that the Masters should be on television. It should be on TV all day. Poll question is out there. What was the biggest reason the Wings lost last night? Officials missing calls, power play not executing, or was it the goaltender Alex Lyon? You can cast your vote at XB Mornings. As this is an exciting weekend. It feels like the national championship game, by the way, was like 3 years ago, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel like that was forever ago? I mean, my goodness, it was just on Monday, right? Was it this past Monday? It all happened so fast. So fast. And we're within the 2-week countdown to the NFL draft in Detroit. So if the weather is bad, good. Get it out of the way now. We want to make sure, the stage is coming along. If you follow along with Brad Galley at WXYZ, Channel 7 there in Detroit, the stage is really coming along together. It's going to be insane. That entire week. But what a great month of sports. And look, I know that we could talk a little more Red Wings on the other side here, but I know that this hasn't been the outcome that we are looking for. But I'll tell you this much: like at least we've had the opportunity here to have some fun, meaningful games down the stretch. That's a positive, because you take the national championship game and the run there from Purdue and UConn, you roll that into the Masters, and now you got playoff games in hockey. As you try to qualify for the tournament, and the golf is on, and it's a great time. And of course, baseball as well. Tigers should be back in action today. Emphasis on should be. Hopefully the weather holds up and we don't have any problems with that. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, for the 7-4 Detroit Tigers, tonight's a 6:40 start time for this club, who's just a game and a half back of the Cleveland Guardians, who just lost their ace pitcher to Tommy John. So you're going to have Little Tigers baseball tonight, the Masters all day, and then a pretty fun weekend as well with the Detroit Red Wings. Oh, man, that game against Toronto, and then Monday, Tuesday, we'll know our fate. If they win tomorrow, then great. We can carry on and hopefully win the final two and get a little help down the stretch. Or what'll happen is we will not beat Toronto, and that will put the nail in the coffin. And that will be it. And we'll come up just shy of trying to be able to make the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs. We will step aside when we return. More for the Red Wings. Want to get your thoughts on the poll question as well. Biggest reason the Wings lost last night, was it the officiating, the power play not executing, or was it Alex Lyon? We can get to all of that. Guys put up 5 goals. You gotta win that game. You have to. Step aside. More X's and Bros after this. Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here with a reminder that on Thursday, April 25th, I'll be in Detroit for the NFL Draft. I'll be broadcasting live 3 until 6 from the world-famous Caucus Club as they prepare for the private NFL VIP party with Br0's Sports Management and certified NFL PA agent David Gregory. We'll be joined by Josh Garvey and his team from Dorn Mayhew, Matt Golden, the CEO at the Tullymore Golf Resort, will check in, and also our friends from Coppercraft Distillery. Be listening for your chance to win a VIP bracelet to get in to this private NFL Draft Night Bash at the Caucus Club in downtown Detroit, less than a half mile from the NFL Draft Stage. It's being presented by the Michigan Sports Network and David Gregory and Bull Rush Sports Management. Be listening to the Huge Show for your chance to win a VIP bracelet to the huge NFL Draft Watch Party Thursday, April 25th in Detroit.
Hey, Michigan, let's go big. I'm Herman Moore, Lions All-Pro wide receiver, and I'm talking real big-time winning on the hottest slots and table games on one incredible app, Eagle Casino and Sports.
Sign up now and get up to $1,500. That's right. We'll match your deposit for up to $1,500, and you'll get 100 free spins.
Eagle Casino and Sports. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan.
Must be 21 or older and in Michigan to play.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at freddythepizzaman.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit freddythepizzaman.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI thepizzaman.com. Together, we can make a difference.
Roast Umber is a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar or additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com.
Miss any of today's show? Find our podcast and listen on demand on Google, Apple, Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Now, back to X's and Bros with Anthony Bellino, here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you on this Feel Good Friday, the 12th day of April, 2024. Pistons have, well, it's coming to a close, finally, thank God. The Detroit Tigers, who were postponed yesterday due to that crazy weather, they'll be back in action tonight, hopefully, 6:40. All the weather will behave, and then we'll play a straight doubleheader tomorrow. First pitch at 1:10, game 2 at 5:10, and then Sunday at 1:40. Expected to see Tarek Skubal and Kenta Maeda for the next 2 starts, and then maybe Matt Manning for that Saturday night game 2 of the doubleheader. And look, if Maeda has a bad outing here, then and Matt Manning pitches well in game 2, can we make that change? Like, can we do that, please? Can we get Matt Manning up here regularly and shift some things around here a little bit? Because he should probably, it's kind of one of the young guys that we're depending on a little bit. So that's what the Tigers are going to be up to this weekend. The Detroit Pistons will finally put a close to this agonizing season. The worst year in franchise history, a record 67th loss as the Chicago Bulls beat them 127-105 last night. 2 games remaining, if anybody is even still aware. They'll play tonight at 8:30 on the road in Dallas, taking on Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, in the Mavericks. And then Sunday, they'll go see the guy that we should have gotten in the draft, Victor Wembanyama, at 3:30, and that'll be it. That'll be, everybody can, 1, 2, 3, Cancun is where we're at. And then we'll see what happens from there on out. The big story, however, is the Detroit Red Wings. And they had a game last night against the Pittsburgh Penguins in which they lost 6-5. They are now 1-3 in their last 4 games. They did get a point, however, because they went into overtime. So that is a positive. So at least we got that going for us. And the way that the standings shape up right now, after the 6-5 defeat here, which is very, very not good. It's not even a right way to phrase that, but it's very bad is what is taking place. We've got ourselves a 4-horse race for that second wild card spot. The Detroit Red Wings are now a point back of the Pittsburgh Penguins and are tied with the Washington Capitals, who also lost last night, and the Philadelphia Flyers, who won last night. So the Flyers beat the Rangers, the number 1 team in the league, 4-1. That was surprising. Then Washington went on the road and lost to Buffalo. That was surprising. I would have had those things flip-flop there. The good news is the Pens, Caps, and Wings all have a game in hand to the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, the Red Wings losing in overtime, it's better than a regulation loss because at least you still squeeze a point out of it. That's a positive. At least we have that going for us. But we've got some big-time, meaningful games, and we'll have to do some scoreboard watching now because you couldn't handle your business on your own. That's really the part that is tough to. It's a tough pill to swallow here. Now the Penguins, who have absolutely caught fire, have won 5 out of 6. 5 out of 6. They've got 2 home games left, Boston and Nashville, and then a road trip to the New York Islanders. So that's what's going on with Pittsburgh. For the Washington Capitals, who have been, up and down all season, and then the only reason they find themselves in this position is because they were riding a 6-game losing streak until they beat the Red Wings. Their goaltender wanted to become Nikolai Khabibulin all of a sudden. They've got 3 games remaining. Tampa Bay at home, Boston at home, Philadelphia on the road. Huge for the Washington Capitals. As for those Philadelphia Flyers, another team that was just in self-destruct mode, had lost 8 in a row before winning last night in New York. They've got 2 games remaining, Saturday and Tuesday, both of which are at home. The New Jersey Devils and the Washington Capitals. And then, of course, we have our Detroit Red Wings with 3 games remaining. Saturday, Monday, Tuesday. If they can win tomorrow on the road in Toronto, that puts them in a really good position. Like 6 points here is what we're looking for. 6 points gets us to 91. Gets us to 91. However, you have 6 points available for the Pittsburgh Penguins as well, but they have Boston, Nashville, and New York. Boston right now, number 1 team in the Atlantic Division, 107 points. The Nashville Predators have clinched a wild card berth at 95 points. And then the New York Islanders there at the end, and the Islanders who are, God bless them, 89 points. They need that one as well. So things are, from a schedule watch standpoint, Pittsburgh's got 3 really big-time games coming up. Philadelphia with New Jersey and Washington there, and then Washington with Tampa Bay, Boston, and Philly to close down the season. The fact that the Wings lost to Washington when they had just lost 6 games in a row is driving me absolutely insane. But the Wings had their own 6-game losing streak and then went 3-1 with 4 games in between and then lost 4 more in a row. And if you want to add that all together, they are 2-7 in their last 9. It's not good. It's not good at all. But once again, I got to say it again because at least we got a point, so we're not dead in the water yet. It's a must-win game tomorrow against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Maybe that's actually the kiss of death. Maybe me saying that it's a must-win game is actually what is driving this disaster. By the way, Tiger Woods made a 5 on the par 5, 15th, so he's headed into 16, 17, 18 right now for the old Masters watch here. If you want to hop on in, ESPN has it. You can watch it on the app. Take it in however you would like it. For me personally, in last night's game, just brutal. Brutal. And I know I've been tough on the goaltending, right? Because it's, show me a good goaltender and I'll show you a good coach, right? Or show me a good coach and I'll show you a good goaltender. The power play gives up that shorthanded goal. Dude, you got to make that stop. You have to. You just have to. And I don't want to put it all on one person, but you scored 5 goals. You finally got the offense churning and burning. The fact that you're going against the Nedeljkovic, right? We know him. And then, the game prior to, the offense can't. 42 saves are made by Charlie Lindgren. Like, are you kidding me right now? Guy made 42 saves. Couldn't get any offense. It was close to being a blowout last night. Without Lucas Raymond, that's a 5-2 game. That's a lot. And good for the young fella. Good for the young fella. 38, 32, and 9. It's 38 and what? 41? It's under 500. They could win these 3 games down the home stretch and finish the season at 500. That's a win. They've already surpassed their win total from last year, so there are some improvements being made, but I want to know what your thoughts are. 866-838-4843, 866-838-4843, 866-838-HUGE. USDA Scott wants to talk Wings. Good morning, Scott. How are you?
Hey, buddy. Hey, just quickly, you and I, we talked about this just a little over 2 weeks ago when there was 8 games left, and it was a tough 8 games. But we said 10 points, 90 was the magic number that would give them a really good shot. So you're kind of right. We can slip up and have a overtime loss or a tie, but we're down to it now. We were thinking 5-3, have a great shot. 6-2, you're in. And not worried about Philly. I think with one game behind in one game they can't get any points out of. So, and to be honest with you, I'd rather be fighting with 2 or 3 teams instead of just you and another team, and because it just gets to be too much anxiety and watching to see just what one team is doing tonight. And
I got to go opposite, Scott. I wish it was just one team, so I didn't have to keep track of all the other ones. I mean, just give me one comment, like one opponent here, and that way we could follow. We got it. We got to win tomorrow, though.
Isn't it fun though?
It's so much fun. Stressed out over here. So much fun watching Lucas Raymond last night. It was so much fun to get that overtime goal scored against us. Do you know how much fun? Are we all having fun? Do you know how much fun I'm having, Scott?
And I'll tell you what, Dylan Larkin last night. If he had anything left, he played his heart out. He gave everything last night. I don't know his minutes, but he gave everything last night. And 30 seconds before they scored that overtime goal, if he would have just been a little, do you remember his breakaway?
Oh, he was right there. I thought that was it. I'm like, here we go. The captain with the game-winning goal in overtime. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Nope, save.
And you could just tell he didn't have the juice left. It was he was slow on the skate, and I just thought, oh man, if he was just had a little more in the tank, that was over.
And he already had 3 points on the night at that point. He had the goal and 2 assists. He played Mo Sider.
I mean, he couldn't have done anything more last night, could he?
No, Mo Sider played the team high just shy of 24 minutes. Larkin played 22:41.
Yeah, there you go.
Jeez, Louis. I mean, just he was right there too. And of course, they just turn around.
If you've ever skated a hockey game, and I'm talking about a real hockey game, and you skated a hockey game. A minute and a half on the ice, because the goal, or 2 and a half minutes on the goal is to keep them at 20 minutes. And a minute or 2.5 minutes extra on the ice in against NHL players, that's a lot. That's a lot. And
that's a ton. You want to keep your shifts to 60 seconds or less typically. I mean, you're talking to the GTIHL champions here. That they didn't get to play in it last year, unfortunately. But yeah, if you've ever been strung out there and you just get stuck in the opposite end of the ice, you can't get a shift change. It's brutal, just brutal. Yeah. You're just out there sweating like a dog.
My uncle was many years ago coach at Western, and he was always about the minutes for his kids, and it really shows. But you go back to the goaltenders real quick on the goaltenders. When you're on the playoff hunt, you have to have a guy in one of these games that just what's the term, they stand on their head. That guy from when we were playing Washington, we put 43 shots on that guy. He stopped 42. Last night we outshot them by, I think, 11. And you gotta, one of these times, I mean, you gotta have the goaltender stop more than the other guy. I love Freddie, but I mean, when we put that many shots on goal, we gotta win.
Got to win. And as always, Scott, appreciate the phone call. Thank you so much. We've got Greg waiting on hold as well. I want to get to his call. First, let me tell you about an action-packed fight card taking over Las Vegas for UFC 300. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the UFC, is giving you the chance to get in on the action right now with a knockout offer for every fight fan. New customers can bet on UFC 300 and turn $5 into $150 instantly in bonus bets. That's right, for the much-anticipated title fight between Pereira and Hill to the exciting undercard. DraftKings is giving new customers a shot to rack up some bonus bets. Betting's easy. Simply lay down some action on UFC 300, and you get bonus bets back instantly no matter what. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE. Promo code HUGE. New customers can bet $5, get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Only with DraftKings Sportsbook using the promo code HUGE. The crown is yours. Now, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 21 plus, physically present in Michigan. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/MMA. Good morning, Greg. How are you, my friend?
I'm well, Anthony. How are you today?
I am doing just fine. Happy Friday.
Good. Happy Friday. My question to you is, Chris Webber has a new autobiography out. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yes.
Okay. If you were his publicist, would you schedule a book signing in Ann Arbor?
Yes.
Okay. You would think the turnout would be worth it?
Yeah. I think that people would want to go. It's called by God's Grace. It comes out October 15th of this year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I would definitely want to hone in on that.
Okay. I'm always fascinated by the Fab Five and the relationship with the university and the alumni base and the athletic department and the community in general and the students who weren't born when the Fab Five were the Fab Five. And so I'm just wondering about that. I wanted your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think that and he's got his book, and so he's got an opportunity to kind of tell his story as he sees it. I don't know what he's all going to dive into. Whether it's the timeout or if it's the allegations or whatever the case may be, and hopefully he gets into all of it. But I think that when you have that opportunity to tell your side of the story, especially for the young Michigan fans that only know of the Fab Five, if they saw the documentary, it might have pulled back the curtain a little bit. But they're probably very interested, and kids probably want to read up and learn a little bit about the history of Michigan hoops and specifically that era. So I think that there's a lot of alums that still adore that team. I think that there are probably some alums that do not like that team. But for those that do, I think it'd be a good opportunity. Maybe do it at like the M-Den, so you can kind of, if you get a few people, it still looks crowded. You know what I mean? I would do it there.
Sure. Good. Yeah. Well, I thank you for your thoughts. Have a great weekend.
Hey, thanks very much, Greg. You too. Enjoy the Masters, my friend.
I will. Looks great on the big tube. Thanks. Bye.
All right, partner. There he goes. That's Greg. Tiger Woods with a massive tee shot, playing a little fade there, setting himself up nicely. Oh, bouncing into the fairway. Every time I see Tiger Woods hit a drive right now, he is dead center, middle of the fairway. And look, like that's what you got to do. I had a really good session the other day hitting the driver, and working on timing, tempo, the grip a little bit, show more knuckles on your left hand, get that club head to turn over a little bit. I used to be able to hit a nice high draw every single drive, and so I'm trying to get back into sort of that rhythm and that flow, because I think if I can do that, it'd be dangerous season, because that does make it does make a big difference. When you can hit the driver and hit it with confidence off the tee, and not have to go out there and be like, I guess I'll just hit a 4-iron. Like, no, let's just mash driver and see what happens. Right? It's a good time. Hopefully you will all enjoy the coverage of the Masters throughout the course of the day, and hopefully you all have a great weekend as well. We'll put our heads together. We'll bow in prayer for Derek Lalone, Dylan Larkin, Alex DeBrincat, Patrick Kane, Lucas Raymond, Mo Sider and the gang, and the goaltending, Alex Lyon. Don't mean to be mean to you. We'll close down the 23-24 historically bad Pistons season, and we'll have Tigers baseball as well. And we'll reconvene Monday morning, same time, same place, right here on X's and Bros.
June 23rd, the world's most notorious rock band is coming to Soaring Eagle Casino. Motley Crue. The Crew. Part of the Soaring Eagle Summer Outdoor Concert Series. Tickets start at $54 and are on sale now at the box office and online at etix.com. Party hard and take a ride on the wild side. Motley Crue. Sunday, June 23rd at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Huge here with a special thank you to three of our partners who are helping bring the 313 NFL Draft Party on Thursday, April 25th to life in downtown Detroit. Josh Garvey and the team at Dorn Mayhew, one of the world's top accounting, CPA, and business firms. Josh is a great man, and that company is doing great things. Josh heads up the GR office. Also, Matt Golden, the CEO of the Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, Michigan. They're set to open up both courses at the end of the month, and you can book a stay and play package. Or if you want to take care of business and mix in a little pleasure on the golf course, great food, beverages, go to tullymoregolf.com. That is tullymoregolf.com. Book your stay and play package or schedule your next event less than an hour north of GR. And also to the team at Cop home of Honolulu Blue. If you're a Lions fan, you need to be drinking Honolulu Blue. Thanks for your help with the 313 Draft.